so-called flying saucers.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. It's rotating.
Welcome and Kill the Stigma. So today we're going to talk about mystery drones, mimics, fireballs or meteors, whatever. Airports being targeted, civilian airports, Donald Trump, laser weapons, shooting these things down, missing generals. Like briefly, we're going to touch on all these things very briefly, okay? Because I'm going to kind of try to compile it all together. I had to include that little part from Jesse Michaels in the introduction to mystery drones because I do have some new friends and they're not into UFOs, but they follow my channel. And for me, a person that's not that into this topic, I don't know, that's like more valuable to me than like people that are already into it, you know? Like, because I want to keep them informed. They might not have any idea what these mystery drones are, so. Here's Jesse Michaels with this introduction.
Mysterious drones over New Jersey?
The nationwide sightings of mysterious drones.
Weeks of mysterious drone sightings.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are?
That's right.
They're saying no threat, but how the hell do they know? They don't know anything. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it come from.
Tip of the iceberg would be a gross understatement for that headline. More like tip of a sunken continent.
No, that ain't no plane, yo.
What the fuck is that, bro?
People in New York and New Jersey see drones the size of an SUV over their house every night and think that that doesn't make any sense.
Certainly I understand why people would be looking at this and being concerned about it. We're concerned about it too.
The U.S. Air Force says they're drones. Don't you fucking believe it. The U.S. Air Force lies.
There was a drone just hanging out. I put my drone up in the air and went towards it. Not 3 minutes into the flight, drone started going down, dead.
These are fully charged batteries.
What's going on here isn't new, and these aren't all drones.
You see it? You see how it goes?
And they're not just over New Jersey. They're all over the world.
There were several mystery drone flights over our nuclear testing range.
Just take a look at all of the military sites all over the world that these drones have visited. This is the continuation of a story that's been unraveling since the dawn of the atomic age.
Based off of the information that you've been privy to, is there any indication that these UAP...
You know, sometimes I feel like we're on schedule for 2027, and I know it's silly, and it's like my paranoia, and it's like, it's really not that bad, honestly. It's a small fraction, but it can feel that way sometimes, man, with this topic. And I just like to talk about it here with you guys. And we'll be laughing our asses off in 2028. You know what I mean? I swear to God, like, I'll be kind of super chill. After 2028, I'll never think about being a prepper ever again. Promise.
Actually do know. We know that it was February 27th, a Thursday morning. Now, according to the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office, around 10 a.m., a repairman shows up at McCaslin's home on Quail Run Court in Albuquerque in New Mexico.
So, was General McCaslin involved with laser development? So remember, General McCaslin goes missing February 27th, the second time they used this advanced laser weapon in El Paso, Texas, during this flap, which, by the way, I have many videos during the same dates in Minnesota. The general goes missing a day after they used this laser weapon, and pretty shortly after Trump decides to get to the bottom of this, say, oh, we're going to declassify the files. Look, I have one question for you guys. This is a very important question, please. And I think some of you might know the answer. It's smart of you guys. Do you think the president gets briefed about this stuff? Like, think about it. Let's say that, hypothetically speaking, let's pretend that it wasn't a party balloon and that it wasn't a cartel drone what got shot down over El Paso. Do you think that whoever briefs him make something up about a cartel to the president? Because honestly, do you really think Trump wants to hear about aliens and UFOs? Or do you think that just goes to whatever MJ-12 is today and they deal with it? Like, do you really think they're gonna bring Trump into that? Does he even want to hear it? And would they? Anyways, I don't think so. I think they deal with that stuff. But anyways, was General McCaslin involved with lasers? Laser research?
Now, one last comment on military weapons and how important they are to everything in the eyes of the government and all others, right? So these are weapons that are being created and probably are already created that we won't even hear about until they've been used for years, like lasers, for instance, which is something that General McCaslin and the Air Force Research Lab were deeply invested in. The U.S. government has spent decades developing lasers, from early experiments to modern weapons.
Just for fun and for the sake of this paranoid episode I'm doing, just to, so maybe the paranoia can make a little bit of sense. If this was NHI, right? First of all, it's strange that it is like this drone behavior that's everywhere. Let's hypothetically say this is the anomalous stuff. Maybe it's a different kind of phenomena that the one that was here. I don't know. It's doesn't matter. It would kind of add up, right? That like three-body problem vibes. And, you know, I remember what was with Jason Sands that was saying, he would say, Jason Sands, this guy that was on the program, I take his stuff with a grain of salt. I think he's a great guy, but I don't know. It's just too much. But he would say that they're going to come back and they're going to want their stuff, or they're going to start basically dealing with people in the program. I mean, he said that. And I don't know. And then the next day, right after they used this stuff that the general was probably working on, this gatekeeper MJ-12 guy, for sure, something happens to him. He vanishes. I don't know, man. I don't know if it was still aliens or our own government or himself. I don't know. It's a mystery. But I'm looking forward to seeing this Jesse Michaels episode that he just dropped. I still haven't seen it. Here's a little teaser.
This many top scientists getting killed or going missing in just under a year looks like a major red flag.
Who were the first people the Israelis killed in Iran when they went in? The first thing you do is kill your scientists.
It's the kind of thing that sounds like the Chinese science fiction book, The Three-Body Problem. A world where scientists don't just make discoveries, but become the front line of a war they don't even know they're in. A world where the future rests on some of the most important minds on Earth, and those minds start disappearing. Except here, the names and the people behind them are real.
CS went missing after taking lunch to her teenage daughter at a cafe in Taos Plaza.
Some of them were very important people, and we're going to look at it over the next short.
What we're looking at might not just be geopolitics in the dark or pressure coming from nation states, but from an unseen force shaping our timeline from somewhere above it, and a hidden struggle over who gets to control humanity's next leap.
And here's what Trump had to say about that case.
Whole swarm of drones for a couple hours was over the flight line. There's a lot of really important planes down there.
Yeah.
How concerned are you that this is something?
Well, I'm not concerned. Yeah, I know about it. They've checked that out and they've gotten to the bottom of it. You know, you have a lot of people now that fly these things all over the place, and we're coming down very hard on them. But we're able to take them out militarily. We're able to take them out very easily. And a new thing is lasers. You know, the lasers are becoming very, very effective. You hit a drone and it melts in air. It's a beautiful thing to see. If it's coming at you, having a laser is a very nice thing. But we have...
Isn't that interesting? Remember all the hoopla about Texas airspace being shut down due to like drones and all this stuff? And lasers and all this stuff? It's weird.
There are methods of defending against drones. I mean, the advantage from the standpoint of defense is they don't go very fast. relative to a F-22, that plane right over there. They go very slow. They can be also shot out of the air by, high quality aircraft, which we have more than anybody ever had.
So that's a little bit more details on El Paso. They're like, oh, let's close the airport down for 10 days or whatever. And then they opened it back up, used the laser weapon 2 times. And what you heard Trump, what he said. So it looks like we did take one of these things down. It's the president that said that. Now let's go to mimics. I want to talk about mimics. Look at these freaking meteors and whatever they are. Just show you a little clip here.
Not even medevacs are allowed to fly.
Wow. Multiple sources are now telling CNN that the Pentagon planned to begin using a high-energy counter-drone laser in the area without consulting with the FAA on the risk to civilian flights. The FAA responded by instituting a 10-day-long, 10-mile temporary flight restriction, although it ultimately ended after only about 8 hours. It was all to get to a February 20th planned meeting between the Pentagon and the FAA about these flight risks.
Bet I'll fucking morph into a plane. Come on, keep close enough so I can put the flight radar through.
So the craziest thing is that if these were just like skydivers with flares or something like that, how do you explain them turning and then going back like straight upwards? These things are flying around on fire, and this was captured in Florida, and I believe this was captured 4/19/2026, so April 19th, 2026. And you could also see a drone or something blinking up there. There's like a red light up top blinking, checking out these objects, whatever they are. So what are we gonna say? Are these meteors as well? Is that what we're gonna go with here or what? But watch this. That is bizarre. You see that right there? That's pretty fucking wild.
A bigger bummer. So these are much more valuable types of crops, and you got to be a lot more careful around them. And it really hasn't been until recently that technology has advanced to the point where we can do these kinds of things in these very, very tight-spacing, very precious crops around us as we're navigating through and doing those pre- and post-harvest work.
That's Agtonomy's co-founder and CEO, Tim Hooker. For the last 40 years, the Ag Information Network has been the source of news for farmers and ranchers.
On the night of September 11th, without any unusual weather conditions, Tianjin Binhai Airport activated a yellow-level emergency response plan and canceled all flights, effectively closing the airport. From around 7 p.m. to 11 p.m., 29 flights were delayed, 8 were canceled, and 32 had to land at other airports. Some flights circled above the airport dozens of times but couldn't land, affecting more than 3,000 passengers. In the early morning of September 14th at 5:25 a.m., residents in multiple areas of Beijing saw a large glowing object in the sky.
Night after mysterious drones forced the closure of 2 major airports in Denmark and Norway. President Trump calling on U.S. allies to open fire on Russian aircraft that cross into their territory.
Do you think that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace?
Yes, I do.
Would the United States help them out in some way?
Depends on the circumstance, but we're very strong toward NATO.
This comes as Danish authorities say up to 3 large drones flown by a capable actor were spotted near Copenhagen Airport overnight, but that shooting them down would have endangered passengers. The Prime Minister saying it's too early to know who's responsible, but that suspicion falls on Russia. NATO fighter jets shot down Russian drones that flew into Polish territory 2 weeks ago, then tracked 3 Russian MiG-31 supersonic fighters that violated the airspace of Estonia. But the NATO jets did not engage them, and Russia denies its fighters were involved.
Hey, and welcome back to Reality Check. I'm your host, Ross Coulthart. Now, I've got a very interesting guest today. As you would know, there's been these ongoing sightings of objects. I won't even call them drones. Objects over military bases in particular, but also civilian aviation locations right across the United States. The government's persisted in using the term drones, and it's also tried to sort of carry the impression that this is confined just to the New Jersey area. And I think ultimately it's left the public with the overwhelming impression that the so-called drones phenomenon, if there is any problem at all, it has been localized to New Jersey, just around New York, and that ultimately this was just a big flat public hysteria. Most of it was explicable as localized aircraft movements, and indeed no suggestion at all of any anomalous phenomena. Our guest today.
These things are so cool. Like, can you just like dude, like, what are you doing, man? Like, I just don't know what are you guys doing? Whoa, bro! You gotta be kidding me. You do that, drone? Because I did not do that. Yeah, I remember thinking, can you do something cool? And then my car alarm goes off. Freaking can't make this shit up, man. This one actually like looks kind of strange now, but it's weird because it kind of looks like a plane too, but they're quiet, they're slow, they're looking for something. Dude, these mystery drones are everywhere tonight. Everywhere. Look. Damn, dude. You guys can't see this. This sucks. Cloaked, literally. Why is it so dark? Damn, that one looks huge. You guys can't see this. Come on, show yourself. Okay, kind of. Anyways, yeah, whatever. Drones, who cares? Just fucking aliens. They're just flying over, no big deal. So the question is why? Why did it go from military, nuclear, to now civilian airports? And also why is it happening so frequently? And now why are scientists missing from all over the world? It's not just the United States. And it's literally the most advanced minds. And why was Lou Elizondo telling people back in the day to read the three-body problem? Ask around. Yeah, he was saying chains of the sea, but to his friends he was saying read the three-body problem. And he's also building a bunker. Why? Like, does he have any information? And honestly, put yourself in his shoes. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. Oh, I'm a good human being. I would tell the world shit, man. You have a family. You got kids, and you got people that are very dangerous. Don't want this information to get out. Would you tell that to the world, or would you just prepare yourself and protect your family? All right, let's bring it down a notch. Now let's remember that everybody in the UAP community, including myself, suffers from paranoia and apocalyptic vibes, and they never happen. Never. Not to throw a butt in there, but if the mystery drone phenomena is indeed anomalous, which it might not be, I think it is, but do you guys feel like it's different? It's not as covert as the phenomena used to be. It's doing freaking something more aggressive, and it doesn't usually behave that way, the phenomena, which is like where a lot of UFO researchers are also skeptical of this shit, because it's like, hey man, I've been, studying UFOs for freaking 50 years, and this is not their behavior. They like to play peekaboo. Yeah, I know, but and also if they're mimicking planes and now meteors, what the hell is next, dude? You're gonna freaking mimic humans? Can you imagine like a human that looks kind of off a little bit? Like, what's next? I don't know, but I'll be here to find out, guys. Thanks for listening.